I like superheroes. I said it.
This episode of iFanboy is brought to you by GoDaddy.com and Netflix.com. Welcome to iFanboy, the comic book discussion show from the website iFanboy.com. My name is Conor Kilpatrick. I'm here with
Josh.
Lanning.
And I'm Ron.
Richards.
So every once in a while, we like to pull a book off our shelves and share with you a comic book that we enjoy reading immensely. This time around, normally we kind of go a little obscure, a little indie. This time around, we're going superheroes.
I believe last time we did this, we did a DC Vault.
Classic. We did a DC Vault.
Before that, we did Marvel.
Whatever.
This
Sometimes.
one's a combination of both. Leans more Marvel.
Conor, lead us off.
Next time I'm buying something you can't even buy.
It hasn't even been made yet.
My little brother did it. It's autobiographical. It's about him drawing a comic about himself.
It's autoerotic. Autobiographic.
I don't want to read my brother's autoerotic comic. That's just me I don't want to read.
Woke up early this morning.
Oh, stop. All right. Conor, go.
Nova. Annihilation.
Felt tense.
This is... No, and then I didn't. This is the... after about 5-10 minutes. For Christmas.
We've never gone here.
Somebody got me this. Who got me this?
I got you this book. This is my Christmas present to
Ron
Conor.
got me Nova Annihilation for Christmas. Because Ron and Josh on our weekly audio show talk up Nova like crazy. They love Nova. It's
I
one of their
love
favorite
Nova.
books.
Love Nova.
Nova Annihilation, I believe this is 1 through 12.
Wow.
It's a thick...
Ish.
That's
Isn't
a
there also
It's an
annual in there?
So it's like 13
excellent.
issues.
Annual
That's
number
great.
1.
This is a meaty trade. This is Marvel's oversized edition where they put out or in conjunction with the other 4.
I do love the oversized hardcovers.
It appears to be the same.
Yeah.
Look at well.
They've got like 15 formats.
They do. It's Marvel. As great as the Marvel trade and hardcover program is, they have too many formats of the hardcovers. Premiere hardcovers.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Oversized.
Looks really
hardcovers.
nice with them all next to each other. I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of Marvel shelves that are very
Well, they all
uniform.
have the Marvel. But
I
anyway,
love that.
so this is, if you heard about Nova series, this is the one you want to get because this gives you the first year of Nova, and you really get the whole long saga.
They're on early 20s at
Yeah,
this
so
point.
this is the first about halfway through the series.
So it's written by.
This is Abnett and Lanning, Dan Abnett, Andy Lanning, and it's art by a bunch of different artists because it's the whole year. So it's Sean Chen and Wellington Alves and Paul Pelletier.
Yep.
And this was so good.
Why was it good?
This is like, you guys have talked about it as being old school Marvel, and Abnett and Lanning write old school, like late 80s Marvel comics, but with a modern sensibility.
Yeah.
This is exactly that. It's adventure.
We're right.
It's excitement.
Science fiction.
Total science fiction. Nova is basically sort of the Marvel.
Don't say it.
He is, and it's okay to be that because they all have analogs.
It's kind of it's a combination, or it started off as a combination of Spider-Man, Green Lantern, kind of, because Richard Ryder, who is Nova, the series started in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, it's an old series.
And it was, teenage kid on Long Island gets the powers of a Nova Centurion, which is a space cop organization. Right.
That's familiar.
Yeah. So in this series,
he has problems.
Richard Ryder is the last Nova. The Nova Corps has been wiped out for some reason. Not really.
During Annihilation, the first Annihilation.
You're reading that now, right?
I read the first book.
Yeah.
All of the Xandar, the planet where the Nova Corps is, Oa, if you will, was wrecked, and everyone was killed by Annihilus, who's a big bug, a very powerful bug, and the World Mind, which is sort of the supercomputer, the
knowledge of the Nova
all
Corps.
of the knowledge and power uploaded into Richard Ryder, and he is the last Nova.
So what you got here in the beginning of this book is you got Richard Ryder, the last Nova with the World Mind in his head, trying to still do his job. He's What I loved about this, it starts off, he's running himself ragged, trying to save people and make a difference. And no matter what it's doing to his physical well-being and his psyche, he still can't ignore people that need help, and he's just killing himself to do it.
Did either of you hear the World Mind as Kit? Because I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Richard.
So what happens is that the World Mind was this kind of supercomputer that kind of controlled the Nova Corps and dispatched them and stuff like that. As we said, during Annihilation, it got destroyed. Also, during Annihilation, a lot of planets got destroyed, and there are all these distress calls going out because there's the 911 you call the Nova Corps, and so that's when Richard says, I need to be responsible. I need to go answer them. I love the interplay. It's almost like a buddy. Like the uptight friend who's the computer, and Richard who breaks a lot of the rules. and it was in a lot of twists and turns that we didn't expect in this one.
And it's not, so you got a whole year, so you got some long stories. Like at some point, he dies briefly, but he's brought back. You got the second Nova shows up. The Phalanx, Phalanx.
Yep. Sort of like the.
They're more bugs.
They're like Warlock from New Mutants. Remember, they're these. It's like the technocracy.
Right.
Yeah. Techno-organic.
The Kree show up. And briefly ties into the Civil War with.
Well, he comes back to Earth, right? Post-Civil War to kind of check in, and that's actually that's a great issue because he meets with Tony Stark, and Tony Stark's like, "Where have you been this whole big Civil War?" And he's like, "Dude, I've been in space where there's like a war, and you guys are all stuck here on Earth doing your little thing. We've got to go there and help." And Tony Stark's like, "There's too much going on
here." Are you gonna register? He's like, "I got problems bigger than this,"
which I thought was a great kind of
issue. It's a great way to sort of minimize the whole Civil War thing.
Well, you know, like the one time they're off doing this annihilation thing that really has these supposedly, far-reaching consequences, and everyone was really paying attention to Civil War, so it was a little of like, you know what, buddy?
Yeah, this is important.
There are bigger problems here.
And it also, he towards the end of this book, doesn't he go to the to that base where we get the telepathic Russian dog?
Yes.
Cosmo.
One of the best characters going on right now.
Cosmo is
this really fun, rollicking science fiction adventure-y stuff, and it's unlike, Marvel's world can get bogged down in their dark reigns and secret invasions and things, and they can be good, but you also get sort of, can be oppressive.
Yep.
Whereas Nova's totally free of that.
Yep.
But it's still tied in. It still feels like a Marvel book. You still got ties to. I mean, he does show up in the beginning, and Richard Ryder's a long-standing character. I read him when he was in the New Warrior, so I have somewhat of a history with him.
Kid Nova in the New Warrior.
And
I read Larson's series 2000-ish.
Yeah.
So,
it was like 7 issues.
7.
People who don't necessarily read a lot of Marvel can totally get into this. You get all the information you need in the beginning.
If you like space, if you like Green Lantern,
I don't even need to really like space.
No,
it's just good stories, and it's really well done. And they have a good way of keeping the edge between hokey.
They're really
and serious,
really good at that balance of drama and fun and humor. And keeping it all at a level that doesn't ever make you roll your eyes, but also it doesn't ever feel like they're trying to do grim and gritty, because they're not.
Yeah.
And I like that.
It's not grim and gritty, but it's also very serious. It's a fun adventure book.
It's almost melodrama, but it isn't hokey.
Abnett Lanning, they're British, and they've done a bunch of stuff for 2000 AD and all that kind of typical kind of British type thing. They are probably some of my favorite writing team that's going on right now. They're just very subtly, quietly writing kick-ass stuff. And it's just like
they've been doing it for 2 years now. I mean, we're on. It hasn't gotten bad.
Yeah.
What's interesting is they almost have cornered their own little market in Marvel.
Yep.
They've got
Guardians of the Galaxy.
They've got their own war. Like
now they're going to take over Daredevil.
War of Kings.
They're not.
Yeah. the War of Kings thing, big event that's been going on.
So they've got their own little world they're allowed to control, and that's also kind of nice because they're not. No one else is playing in that world, so they control the rules.
Yeah.
So that's a nice thing. And I loved this so much when I read.
I'm so glad you liked it. I'm so glad. I was worried.
I have a long wait for the second hardcover.
Yeah, because now you're on hardcovers. Now it's like me and The Walking Dead. So.
Awesome.
Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Yeah, you should get Guardians.
I thought about, but they're not very far into that, are they? They're not in their first year.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
8, 9, 10.
Yeah. So that's that. When we come back, we're gonna jump to the other side of the aisle.
Hey everybody, GoDaddy.com has what you need. And what do you need? Well, .com names are as low as $1.99 a month. They got world-class hosting, fast and free website builders. GoDaddy's hosting plans have 99.9% uptime, free 24/7 support, and no annual commitment. The private domain registration from GoDaddy.com protects your privacy by keeping your address, phone number, and more out of the public database. You can customize your own virtual dedicated server by choosing one of 3 popular plans or by selecting your own Linux or Windows server with all the plan options you might need. You can get a GoDaddy.com secure certificate for your website, and visitors, prospects, and customers will have total confidence in your online business. And if you're a podcaster or a video blogger, you're going to want a .tv domain name to stand out from the crowd. All this and more is available now at GoDaddy.com.
So for my entry in the show, I like to be full of surprises. In recent months, I've been kind of on record by not really liking Superman. Not that I dislike him; I respect the character, but I haven't really, gotten into the current Jeff Johns stuff and James Robinson stuff. But there is a Superman story that I do like.
Read it?
Yes, I have. I read.
Oh, you have.
Yeah.
Liar.
There's a Superman story that I do like a lot, and it comes from the old DC Elseworlds line, which I miss so much.
I believe this is the last official Elseworlds title.
It might be the last. This actually doesn't even say Elseworlds on it. The version I have.
It came out.
Yeah, but the version I have. This is Superman Red Sun, and it's written and S-O-N, not S-U-N, and it's written by Mark Miller with art by Dave Johnson.
Dave Johnson did all the interiors for that?
Dave Johnson did all the awesome
so
interiors.
good.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And basically what the premise of this is that instead of crash landing in Kansas, in the farmlands of Kansas and being raised to be the American icon Superman is, he crash lands in the farmlands of Siberia. And grows up in
and what's interesting is
Soviet Russia.
It's just because of a slight mathematical change,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so that the axis of entry is different.
You
So
think I'm going to say something about...
in Soviet Russia, Superman does.
I didn't. Cape, where's you?
Cape, where's you? So it's a subtle difference.
It's very stiff.
And so what you get is all the archetypes of the Superman universe just slightly different. So what you've got is Superman is a Soviet soldier. He's a
Soviet icon.
That's a
Soviet
damn
icon.
fundamental difference.
His costume is similar, but instead of the S shield, he's got the hammer and the sickle. And what you have is Lex Luthor, who is now an American kind of icon and is obsessed with Superman. The same motivations and the same, reasoning for hating each other. He hates him that he's an alien and all that kind of stuff. But he's got the support of America. You've got a Batman character who's American, who is...
he's Russian.
Oh, is he Russian?
Yeah.
I thought he was American.
No, he's
I'm sorry.
Russian.
So you've got a Batman character. Oh, right, with the hat.
Yeah.
Right, I forgot about that.
Wonder Woman's in it. She's
Yep.
No change from that.
Lois and Jimmy.
What you've got is Mark Miller. What he does well is when he really thinks out every aspect of the story.
Yeah.
And in this particular instance, it never goes off the rails. It all clicks together, especially at the end, where really it's a mind-blowing ending, where it all sort of everything sort of turns on its head and makes sense. I don't want to ruin it because it really is a great ending, but
It's a very, very intelligent idea for a rethinking.
Yeah.
I mean, really, what an obvious story that hadn't been told. The thing is, I don't think it could have been told before, 1990.
Yeah.
Because people wouldn't have been...
They would have been so happy with it.
It would have been un-American.
it would have also been very, very anti-Soviet, which is not
Right.
pro-Soviet, but it's
Yeah.
balanced. And it's the hallmark of the Elseworlds is always, what if this had changed?
Yeah, this subtle test.
And this is just a subtle
And it's funny because over the past few years, we've seen a lot of Mark Miller doing work at Marvel, whether it's Civil War, recently on Wolverine, things like that. You really get an idea, and you almost have forgotten from his work when he first broke into comics. Mark Miller really has a reverence for DC Comics.
He was a Superman guy.
Yeah,
he worked on Superman the animated series.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
wanted to write the Superman books so badly.
Yeah, exactly.
Part of that group that tried to get to the books.
And so, whereas the stuff that he's done in Marvel, like Marvel 1985 is an example of a kind of a love letter to comics, but some of the other stuff has just been he's writing it just to write it and to be Mark Miller and be crazy. This, you pick up that subtext of the love and adoration of the characters. And
There's none of that shock value in here.
Exactly,
None of that at
exactly.
all. Forgot Green Lantern, too.
Yeah, Green Lantern. And one of the awesome things about it is the art by Dave Johnson, who most recently, you might have noticed, he did the covers for 100 Bullets, where that's been kind of...
He doesn't do interiors that often.
Exactly.
But he's one of those guys that when he does, you go, whoa.
Oh, this is some pretty awesome stuff. So, and you can tell that this is a character that even despite getting rid of the Elseworlds line, even Taddeo and the rest of DC editorial respect because he's cropped up in all the multiverse thing. There's a Earth, whatever, is the Russian Earth, and and you've seen in Final Crisis the Russian Superman.
And they did a toy line.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
It's so well respected. Just by chance, I happened to reread this about a month ago.
Yeah.
And I was blown away again by it. I hadn't read it in a while.
It's really good.
It's one of the better stories they've done in this is the great thing about these characters is they fit so well into different molds.
Yeah.
Superman, usually in the Elseworlds titles, in the end, the character regains what they had. Superman figures out he should be. In this, he never loses his Sovietness.
Yep.
It's not
Exactly.
like then he goes the American ways.
He really believes in the will of the people.
And that's
which is what
or the state.
which is what Superman is.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes sense.
The other great thing is that this is self-contained. It's not that thick. I think it was maybe 4 or 6 issues.
Three
when it came out.
prestige issues.
There's three
Three prestige issues.
Yeah.
Beautiful covers. Dave Johnson did these great kind of propaganda style-y kind of covers, and they're in here. And there's a great one of Superman with the red eyes, and yeah, it's really really cool. So
This is one of the better comics to come out in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I was surprised at how much I liked it. Yeah, there's the red. He's watching you. Yeah. So.
Fascist.
Yeah, exactly. So, Superman Red Sun. If you like Mark Miller, you probably haven't read it. You got to read this one. So, when we come back,
We get young.
Thanks to Netflix for sponsoring this episode of iFanboy. With Netflix, you can rent over 90,000 titles online, including lots of Blu-ray titles, with free shipping both ways to your home. They now have over 40 shipping centers, so almost all deliveries happen within one business day. And Netflix plans start from $4.99, and as a new member, you can get a no-risk 2-week free trial membership if you check out www.netflix.com/iFanboy and remember to type in that www and using the code.
Young Avengers is a book that I should have read for a long time.
Thank you.
I know, it's fine.
Years I'm telling him this.
You know what? There was a 12-issue season.
Series.
Yeah, it was like a book that did really well and then was canceled. Like, not really
canceled.
I know, but like,
I'm using damn you, Heinberg.
Well, it was no more as it is. There will be more coming.
Very quickly, Alan Heinberg was the writer. He's also a writer on television, does Grey's Anatomy. And he said,
he's executive producer.
My paying job.
It was right before he took the Grey's Anatomy job. He was working on the OC, and that was kind of coming to an end. And somehow he ended up writing this. He got teamed up with Jimmy Chung, who since then has kind of blown up and done a lot. Bendis kind of got his mitts on him. They did the Illuminati series and a bunch of Avengers stuff.
But there was no point where you're like, oh, he was okay in the beginning and then he got really better.
No.
Page 1, you're like, who the heck? Where's this guy been?
And so what happened was when it came out, I heard of the premise, I was intrigued by the idea and of the characters, and I bought it, and it blew me the F away, and I immediately told both of them, you guys need to read this.
I read the first issue when it came out.
Yeah. So
it was good.
For whatever,
I couldn't pick up
you
any
didn't.
books.
I don't. Well, if you did, I didn't remember because what happened. I don't remember you talking to me about it. I remember the guy in my comic book store talking about it.
Yeah.
Except he did that all the time, and he was trying to get me on it based on the fact that the OC guy did it, and I was like, I don't care.
Yeah, you see that
And
turned
so,
you off.
and then it was like 3 or 4 issues in, and I was like, some people seem to like this. So, but it was too late, and I was like, well, we'll see. And then, it was one of those things like I went to pick up at I would look through stacks at cons, and I never found both of them at the same time.
Volume 1 and 2.
Right, so I never bought them.
So fast forward to Christmas of this year.
Right, and I was looking for something on the show, and I noticed that there was this 1-volume edition that had come out, and I was talking to Ron at IM, and I was like, well, if you guys were going to get me anything, should this be a good one? And I was like, I know.
I'd already ordered it. I was already in my possession. It was my Christmas gift to Josh. This is like my Christmas gift show.
Yeah.
So I gave it to you, and you read it.
I read it in about a day.
Okay, so let me ask you a question.
All right.
When you got to the end of issue 1, and it revealed something about one of the characters, was that the moment that sold you?
Uh-huh.
I knew it.
Yep, it certainly was.
What was the reveal? We can tell people.
So well, you tell the story, yeah.
Well, okay, here's the thing that surprised me about this. And what the deal is this. It was called Young Avengers, and it was a reimagining of all these characters. Now, I had...
Not reimagining, it was just the introduction of...
It was a reimagining of different people doing these characters. Whatever.
Yeah.
Well,
who's talking
it's current Marvel continuity. It's not like it's in...
Okay. Either way, there are these characters, so there's a new Hawkeye and a new Iron Man.
Well, it's not a new Hawkeye, just a younger...
Can I talk about the thing?
Okay.
This is what I'm telling you what I thought was going on. And I thought it was like Muppet Babies, and I was like, I don't care.
Muppet Babies.
Well, more or less, right? Yeah. And instead what happened when I went to read it was that it was such a continuity-laden Avengers story that I was like, oh... Kang the effing Conqueror. That is what I want out of life.
Kang.
And it was
about Kang.
such a continuity Avenger horror story. I mean, this was like great for me. Yeah. And that's what I really got out of it that I hadn't heard from anybody the whole time was that it's if you liked the Avengers and you like classic Avengers, Captain America, Iron Man, Thor, this would be the kind of thing that you would want to read. And I never heard that from anybody. Yeah. It was just, it's real cool because he did the OC, and that's not enough for me.
Yeah, so the reason why we're bickering over this imagination, essentially it's a team of kids that have donned identities that are inspired by the Avengers. So there's the grandson of the first Captain America, the African American Captain America, who is Patriot, right?
Yeah. Eli.
I want to call him Sentinel for some reason, but he's Patriot.
He was Sentinel in the beginning.
Was he? Okay, so he's Patriot. He's got a Captain America-esque inspired costume. There's
no, he has a Bucky inspired costume.
Yeah, good point.
But he's
then he gets the shield.
He has the shield.
The triangle shield. There's Iron Lad.
Which I was like, that's some lame shit.
There's
but they make up for it.
There's Wiccan.
Wiccan is like
a Thor or Scarlet Witch hybrid.
First, he's the Asgardian, so there's no doubt about what he is. And they all have powers that are not necessarily the same as their counterparts. Right. It's actually a very smooth reimagining. Hulkling doesn't have anything to do with Hulk. He's a Skrull.
Yeah, but he makes himself look like
or half Skrull.
Yeah, half Skrull, half Kree, half Skrull. So they start adventuring, and they then pull in the Lady
Kate
Hawkeye.
Bishop.
Yeah, Lady Hawkeye.
Well, that's the joke.
Yeah.
Is that she doesn't have a name the whole time, and eventually someone just calls her Hawkeye since Clint's dead.
Yeah.
Apparently.
And then also
Stature.
Also Stature, who is Scott Adams, Ant-Man's daughter, and she becomes a giant.
I won't read that
He's
story.
simmering.
Yeah.
With Hatred.
But admittedly, when I read Iron Lad and Hulkling, I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
But then at the end of issue 1, there's a reveal.
Yeah, Iron Lad is Kang.
Young Kang.
Young Kang from a different time stream. And you know what? That sounds like it might suck, but it doesn't suck because it's awesome. And like, so,
They
it's
call
really
me Kang.
And good stuff.
So now you guys, this takes it's basically 2 arcs.
Yeah, there are two
arcs and a little bit in the middle.
Yeah. So you guys differ on the arcs.
Well, yeah, my thing was that I loved the first story arc. The first story arc was the team being formed, the Avengers telling them to stop. Like you got a very
Captain America and Tony Stark come down on that
hard.
shit.
Yeah, it's right after Avengers disassembled, so they meet at the old mansion,
which has been leveled.
And the statues are still there and stuff like that. And they're just like, come that hard, you can't do it. But like kids, they're teenagers, they go out and do it anyway. And basically, it's the story of Kang, Iron Lad, and eventually he leaves the team at the end of the arc.
And then his suit.
Yeah,
which is Kang's armor, becomes the new Vision,
which is awesome.
Which is also well played. Like it has a bit of the real Vision in there, and then there's also the there's a Quicksilver kid who shows up later.
Yeah, well then and it turns out Quicksilver and the Asgardian are the sons of Scarlet Witch, the imaginary sons of Scarlet Witch.
And then the other thing that happens is, and it's won a GLAAD award for this, or was nominated, I don't remember, is that Asgardian, or Wiccan, and Hulkling are a couple. They're a gay couple, which is very...
it's dealt with like normal.
Yeah, and subtly. It's not really like... And there's no nods or winks about it. Like, there's no silly jokes outside of the ones they make themselves, I guess.
So then after this first 6 issues, there's an issue or two with a film.
Kang is awesomely designed.
Kang is one of the best designed characters
Kang is
ever.
fantastic.
Yeah, Kang is
He's
awesome.
a great design. We do not see Kang enough.
Oh, no.
Now I want to read Avengers Forever again.
Yeah, exactly. Avengers Forever was the last time we had good Kang. But anyway,
it gives good Kang.
In the middle of the book, there's a fill-in artist, and that really kind of turned me off to it. But then there's a story arc at the end of it that involves the MGH, the mutant growth hormone drug.
I liked that story a lot.
And Sentinel Patriot, whatever his name is, Captain America. It turns out he was taking it. And
because he has no powers, because he'd been saying all along that the super soldier serum that had infected his grandfather had transferred down to him.
But that's not possible.
But that was not the case at all, and it turned out to be a really nice.
That's actually a pretty good story, especially in the teens.
Oh, there's a whole lot of really. So he really just wants to do good, but he doesn't have any powers, so he finds a way to get it.
So he's a dirty junkie.
And then there's Michael Gaius art in the middle, which is
there's tie-ins to
Jessica
Alias.
Jones. Yeah, Jessica Jones shows up.
Yeah. No, this book is awesome. It's just
because she was dating Statur's father when he died.
Yep, and so there's a flashback to that.
Yep.
And it's such a teen superhero book done well because like Statur's mother and her stepfather don't want her to be on the team. The Avengers don't want them to be a team, but they're kids and they're not going to take no for an answer. And
now that's the part that you like.
Yeah,
I liked it that it was well conceived. I don't really care so much that they were teenagers or not. I found that interesting, but I thought that it was a really nice balance of characters to be on a team. Some of them you like, some of them you don't like as much, but in a good way. Right. Despite myself, I really like Kate Bishop as a character. She was very interesting to me. She needs a new name, but whatever.
Not like this.
Not like this. I've still never read it.
So now the tragedy of this book is that Marvel has kept these characters under lock and key. And aside from a couple of crossovers, there's a Civil War crossover with a miniseries with the Young Avengers and the Runaways. And then again for Secret Invasion, and then there was a series of Young Avengers Presents, which were one-shots about individual characters. But them as a team, they're not letting, or up until now, they're not letting anybody write it except for Alan Heinberg. But now recent news is that
Paul Cornell's doing Dark Reign Young Avengers.
Yeah, exactly.
But with a different lineup.
Yes.
It's not the same members, so it's they're still keeping them under wraps.
Damn you, Heinberg.
The thing is this, is that you liked that it was a teen book. I liked that it was a Marvel Avengers book. It was like when I was reading this, I was like, oh, this is like Avengers that I haven't read in a really long time because this isn't what Brian Bendis is doing.
It felt young and vital.
By
young, I meant like early, like not.
Was it like Nova throwbacky but modern?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, that's what I meant.
It was
T-shirt says throwbacky but.
It was very continuity heavy, but not in the way that makes it difficult to read. The kind that makes it very satisfying to read. You're like, oh, this is Marvel.
And the other great thing about it is the art of Jim Chung is just. Awesome.
There's literally there's nothing to be said about that.
Yeah.
Because it's that good.
It's my now I like this was the series that made Bendis go, oh, I want him and take and it's awesome.
And so he did have him.
Yeah.
So he doesn't say damn you Heinberg.
Damn you Heinberg.
No, he says good.
So I love it. So.
Yeah, I mean I was just there's actually a neat script.
This is a nice hardcover.
I really want that hardcover. I put it on my wish list after Josh got it.
It's good stuff, and it talks about like how Heinberg didn't know how to do a comic script at the beginning.
Just new TV scripts.
And the format he does it is just weird. He didn't do it like a TV script at all. His original pitch is in here. Yep. But the dude knows Marvel. Like you got to give him that. Like everything. There was so many things referenced in here. Yep. It was just. But
it wasn't so late in the story.
Nope. No. You could either take it or leave it. Whether you know.
And it's before Captain America died. So you got some Captain America.
Yeah, Steve Rogers is up in this piece.
Yeah, so very inspiring. So if you have an opinion of any of these books or a book you want to recommend for us to read for a future show, you can email us at contact@ifanboy.com.
Or you can call our voicemail line, which is 888-FANBOYS, which is 326-2697, not 800-FANBOYS.
No.
And leave us a message about these books or other books or anything you want. Maybe we'll play it in this show or our weekly audio show.
Listen, I'm saying you go to ifanboy.com. You click on this because I like that. And you click on that and you just want to be like, I like that book too, or I didn't like that book, or why did you ruin the story for me? It doesn't matter. It's still going to be good. Although the fact that I didn't see that coming was bomb. It was awesome. But it's been out for years now, so whatever. It's still really, really good. The ifanboy.com is what I was saying.
This is one of those instances when you give somebody a present and you don't want to give it to them. I kind of want. I don't know this. I have them in issues. Yeah,
pretty.
So pretty. These are all pretty books.
These are nice. Nice
pretty book.
Pretty books. Three, do I?
What?
3, 2.
Do it. More goddamn American.
3, 2. In Soviet Russia. Comic book draws you. I don't know that.
This would be nice, yes? Look, his comic book has drawn me. We now get published. 3, 2.